When you do this maze, make sure that you start at the word start. Remember also that we want to get the variable by itself. It's called isolating the variable. So you subtract 10 from both sides of the equal sign. That way I only have the 4 multiplied by the x at this point, and this will get me negative 36. Remember, this has 26 negatives, this has 10 negatives, so that would be a total of 36 negatives. I divide both sides by 4, and I get x equals negative 9. If I was to show my checking of this, I would take 4, multiply it by negative 9, add 10, equals negative 26. This would get me negative 36 plus 10. And negative 26 does equal negative 26. So negative 9 is my answer. So I'm going to come this direction right here. Then I would do this problem, and we're doing the same thing. We want to get the variable by itself, so I subtract the 13 first. I get 1/2 x equals negative 4. Now this right here, that's multiplying by a fraction. We can't divide by a fraction, but we multiply by its reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2 over 1. So I get x equals negative 8. I check my work to make sure I did the correct work. So 1/2 times negative 8 plus 13 equals 9. This would get me negative 4 plus 13. And 9 does equal 9, so I do have the correct answer. This is the correct answer. And so my answer would come this direction. Then I do this problem. I subtract 10 from both sides of the equal sign. I get x over 3 equals 5, because 15 minus 10 would get me 5. I multiply, because this is division, so the opposite of division is multiplication. I multiply by 3 on both sides and get 15. Check my work. 15 divided by 3, adding 10, does that equal 15? So 5 plus 10 equals 15. That is true, so this is my direction that I'm going. Then, on this one, okay, the 9 is out in front. That's okay. If you need to rewrite this so that it says negative 2x plus 9 equals 35, this is addition. The opposite of addition would be subtraction, so I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides of the equal sign. When I subtract 9, I would get 26. Now, this is multiplication, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So I would divide both sides by the negative 2 and get x equals negative 13. Again, I plug in my work to make sure that I did the correct work, because we do make mistakes. So 9 plus 26 equals 35. This would be 35 equals 35, so I do have the correct answer. So here we go. This next one helps if I can do that. Right here. So I subtract 15 from both sides of the equal sign. I get 2/3 x equals 2. Uh-oh. Again, we can't divide by a fraction. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So we have to multiply by its reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 3 over 2. Remember, we cannot divide by a fraction. We must multiply by its reciprocal. Cancels, cancels. I'm left with an x here. Now, some of you can do your cross-canceling, get 1s, and your answer is 3. Many of you are still not up to par on that, so I will multiply straight across. That would get me 6 on top, 2 on bottom. So my answer is still 3, even if I do it the long way. I plug back in my 3. So my 3's cancel. I get 2 plus 15 equals 17. 17 does equal 17. So I do have 3 as my answer. I come down here. I add 10 to both sides of the equal sign. I have negative 5x equals 20. I divide by negative 5 on both sides of the equal sign. I get x equals negative 4, because remember, positive divided by a negative is going to be a negative. I check my work. Negative 5 times negative 4 minus 10. Does that equal 10? 20 minus 10. Look at that. 10 equals 10. So x equals negative 4. So I go this direction. I come over here to this one. I bring this straight down. Okay, again, I subtract 18 because I want that 18 to go away. 18 minus 18 gets you 0. Make sure you bring down the negative with that 4x. It's just that negative goes with the 4. It doesn't go with the 18, it goes with the 4. So when I subtract this, I would get negative 20. Divide both sides by negative 4 and get x equals 5. I plug it in to make sure that I have the correct work. I get 18 minus 20. That's negative 2 equals negative 2. So yes, I did the correct work. And 5 is my answer. Come here. Oh no, it has 89. It's okay. 89 is a big number, but it's not that bad. Okay, the signs are opposite, so I'm going to be subtracting. 89 has negative 89, so there's a whole lot more negatives. So then make sure that you have a negative as your answer. You are subtracting these numbers, and you would get negative 72. I divide by negative 12 on both sides, and I get x equals 6. I check my answer to make sure that I did the right work. Negative 12 times 6 minus 17 equals negative 89. Negative 72 minus 17. Okay, remember these two have the same sign, so we add them and keep the sign. So that would be negative 89 equals negative 89. Voila, we got the correct answer for this one. So I'm going in this direction. Okay, I bring this straight down. Again, I subtract the 8 from both sides. I get negative 1/3 x equals 8. Some of you are going to say, oh, 3 doesn't go into 8. But guys, you have to be careful. This is, again, multiplying by a fraction. We can't divide by a fraction. We multiply by the reciprocal. So negative 3 is what I'm going to multiply on both sides of the equal sign. I'm going to get x equals negative 24. Then I check my work to make sure I did the right thing. 8 minus 1/3 times negative 24. Does that equal 16? 8 negative times a negative will be a positive. Uh-oh. I think Kim did something wrong. Did she do something wrong? 3 goes into that? No, she didn't. Look at that. It actually comes out correctly. So 16 equals 16. So the answer to that is x equals negative 24. Come this direction. Ooh, I can already see where some of you are going to say, I don't get this. Make sure you bring down not just the x, but the negative. Do not say that x equals 7. If you were to plug in x equals 7 to this, look at what would happen. 5 minus 7 equals 12. That would be negative 2 equals 12. That doesn't make any sense. So make sure that you bring down the negative, oops, come on, with the x, and you divide by the negative 1 and get x equals negative 7. It is not going to be positive 7, it is going to be negative 7. So when I plug in that negative 7, turns into 5 plus 7, and that does work. So just be careful when you're doing that, that you bring the negative with it. So x equals negative 7. I bring this here. I subtract 13 from both sides. Negative 3 over 2x equals 24. I multiply by the reciprocal. I get x equals, and that would be negative 48 over 3, which is x equals negative 16. I plug this back in, I get 13 minus 3 over 2 times negative 16 equals 37. 13, negative times negative is a positive. This is over 1, so that would be 48 over 2 equals 37. 13 plus 24, so 37 equals 37.